Later this month, on April 26th, the 93rd Academy Awards are set to take place, and much focus in Korea has been on how Minari by Korean-American director E. Isaac Chung will perform. But there is another Korean director who's up for an Oscar as well. Director Erick Oh has been nominated for Best Animated Short Film for his work Opera. It's a mesmerizing and astonishing study on the cycle of civilizations and the history of man in just 9 minutes. Mr. Oh's previous works include working on massive animation blockbusters to smaller independent artistic projects, but one look at any of the California-based animators' projects, you can see that he is, above all else, an artist. To tell us more about his work, we have Mr. Oh himself joining us via video link for this week's Touch Base and Seoul. Mr. Oh, hello and welcome.
Hi. Nice
Congratulations, first of all, once again on your Oscar nomination. Can you take us back to March 15th when the nominations were officially announced? And what went through your mind as Nick Jonas read Opera as one of the titles listed in the nominations?
Well, I definitely thought I was still dreaming because, it happened 5 in the morning here and I was still half awake. And then, oh my God, it must be really realistic dream, And then, but soon I realized that that was really happening. And then, I was over the moon. It's a huge honor. And then still, it's hard to believe, believe or not. Yeah.
Right. It's not the first time you've been involved in a project that's received an Oscar nod, as you've previously worked for Pixar Animation Studios, who have received multiple Oscars for the films you've worked on. But as the creator and director of your own film, how does this nomination compare?
It's incredibly overwhelming. Definitely. Yes, you're totally right. With Inside Out or Brave, and even The Dam Keeper, which I was playing my role as a supervising animator, it was Oscar nominated or won. But this is my own story and almost my own baby. Getting this nomination, it's incredibly mind-blowing experience so far.
Before we get into opera, let's learn a little bit about yourself first. How did you get into this field? Was art always a passion of yours growing up?
Yes, I was the little kid who've been always passionate about drawing, and then I was the one who was always drawing the cartoon characters inspired by Disney animation and also some manga from Japanese animation. And I was a little kid who've been telling everybody that I'm going to go to Disney. I was that kid. So probably started my sort of dream chasing lifestyle since I was very young. And then I went to the art school, and then that's how I got into the animation industry so smoothly and naturally.
Right, so animation was always what you wanted to do, because I understand you received your Bachelor of Fine Arts at Seoul National University before going to the US, where you got a Masters of Fine Arts in Film, TV, and Digital Media at UCLA.
Yeah, what's interesting that I wanted to be an animator since I was very young. But then when I grew up, I studied a little more about overall visual art. And that's when I realized that, maybe I want to learn a little more fine art, which is the foundation for any visual mediums. That includes, of course, cinema and animation as well. So I thought instead of diving deeper into learning technical aspect of animation, I want to learn storytelling or just learn about myself first, what type of storyteller or what type of message I would love to deliver. So that's how I went to fine art school first.
Right, and then after college, you quickly built up a formidable CV, starting with a 6-year run at Pixar Animation Studios, which is a dream job for many animators, I imagine. And you worked on hit films such as Brave, Inside Out, and Finding Dory, just to name a few. What was that experience like? They say it's a great place to work, but did it live up to the hype?
It actually did. Of course, it is still a company, which means you have different people you need to collaborate with, but you are surrounded by one of the most talented people on earth. So you get to learn every day a new thing, and then just get the inspiration from them, and then find a way to actually challenge yourself to get better every day. So that has been an incredible experience, surreal.
Even during your time there, though, I understand you were directing and creating your own works in your own time as well.
Yeah, because I can put it this way. I was an animator at Pixar Animation Studios. And animation is such a collaborative process. You've got storyteller, you got designer, you got lighter and editor and animator. If I could, connect this to live action film, animator is like actor. So you are acting out the character. You are creating the movement and emotion to the character. So I've been doing that for 6.5 years. And then which was incredible experience. I learned a lot and I had a lot of fun. But then I still wanted to tell my own story as a director. So
Right.
that is why I had this strong motivation to keep on telling my mini independent short films and stories, while working at Pixar.
Right. Working at Pixar, you were just, I guess, a cog in a massive machine, but you wanted to be a storyteller. You wanted to have your own stories that you wanted to tell. Was that a challenging leap then, leaving Pixar and then pursuing this side of your work as well?
It's yes and no. It was incredibly hard because it is true that Pixar is where you want to be. It really gives you whatever you ask for creatively.
Hmm.
And then this stability, just being stable and all that. That's just you can get that easily on somewhere else. But as I already told you to your prior question, I already knew that I wanted to find a way to tell my own story,
Hmm.
not stay as an actor or animator for a bigger process. So I already knew that with the right momentum and right timing, I was going to move on to seize this moment. And then sometime in the right of my career, this opportunity came as a director. So I seized it. So that's how I decided to leave this comfort zone of Pixar and then start my own new journey as a director.
Right. And eventually it led you to this work, opera. Let's talk about it now. It's a 9 minute
Hmm.
piece. I've seen it, but I don't know where to start because there's so much going on. It's such a powerful piece. It essentially depicts the life cycle of a whole world or a society, and it tackles challenging subjects like war, religion, and even racism. And it was really a mind-bending work. Can you tell us about the creative process? How did you come up with such a work?
Yeah, so usually when making film or art, the subject matter, the topic, it really comes from your life, like every day you live, day to day experience. And then, so this opera took me about 4 years to complete, which means I first came up with this initial idea of opera 4 years ago. So if we travel back in time to 4 years ago, it was the year with so many political issues were happening everywhere. I'm not just talking about the United States, but everywhere. Like, for example, United States, we've got Donald Trump becoming the president,
Hmm.
not really, telling, giving any political statement, but that really caused a lot of conflicts and controversies and polarization. And then that was the year when President Park Geun-hye got impeached in Korea, and then you
Hmm.
could imagine how chaotic the whole nation was like. The whole nation was split in a way. And then you got Hong Kong with the riots and protests, and we got France going crazy with Yellow Jacket movement. All those things were like huge, huge inspiration to me. And
Hmm.
then I felt desperate and vulnerable, sad, and I had to do something about it as an artist. So that's how I first decided to design the world of opera.
Right. It is a film, but it is also, as you said, a work of art almost. It is interesting. It's anyone who watches it will realize it's cyclical in nature. So it's a 9 minute piece, but then it's designed to be watched again, and then audiences will want to watch it again because, as I said, there's so much going on. You said it
True.
stems from this uh, idea of what was going on at the time, political turmoil. But what was it about the fact that you wanted to make it cyclical, that it was just history repeating itself? Can you explain a bit more about that?
Just sentence you just mentioned exactly is the reason why. So from the beginning, from the get-go, I wanted to create the reflection of human society and human life and history. And history does repeat. So I from the get-go I realized that it's going to be really hard to convey and deliver the this something I love to document through conventional filmmaking or storytelling or narrative, linear narrative. That's when I realized, oh, maybe I should just put it into loop because history does repeat. So, in order to showcase this vicious cycle of human life, why not create this whole film and piece as a cycle?
Hmm.
And yeah, that's how I literally connect those two dots.
Right, and some of the characters in this piece, they do look quite cute, but at the same time, it's so interesting. And I understand that Renaissance masters and their works influenced the film's aesthetic.
Totally. It really continues from what we've been talking about. So as soon as I made up my mind to make into a cycle, and then the other aspect is society. Okay, history connected to the form of cycle, then society connected to this massive structure where everybody mingles in. There are a lot of small stories and big stories, and like hundreds of characters interacting one another. Wanted to create it that like right away, and then immediately I thought about this Middle Ages fresco Renaissance mural paintings, because those paintings, as you know, usually captures some historical moments in life, and not only that, but also there's so many things happening all at once. There's like a marriage going on. There's festival. There's party, and there's like a death. There's a people get executed, and all at once. Maybe in the Sistine Chapel and Michelangelo's Genesis is a good example. In one singular piece, you've got every storytelling happening. I thought that's exactly how I want to tell this story. And then, so in a way, at the end of the day, I feel like opera could be considered as contemporary version of those mural paintings.
Right, opera also touches on themes of discrimination and racism as well. And
Yes.
considering what's been happening in the US over the last few months, especially with violence towards Asian Americans, it must mean a lot to you that this film is now out there and speaking a little bit of your message that you want to give.
Totally. First of all, as we all can agree, it's not just something that just came out. It's been always there in our life. That is why I already been touching upon this sensitive subject matter of racism or discrimination from the beginning. Like 4 years ago, already created the section all about that. And then at this current stage, it is heartbreaking, really, to see, even after 4 years passing by, I wonder if we got better or not. Even experiencing Black Lives Matter movement last year and then Asian hate crime this year, I just feel like this has to be shared with more people, because the core of course, this opera deals with a lot of different subject matters. But at this stage, those couple of sections that's describing discrimination in our society, that needs to be really conveyed and delivered to hopefully think about it and make our lives better, hopefully.
Well, as I said, it's a very powerful work, and I hope all our listeners do get a chance to view this work. Definitely make the time, at least 9 minutes out of your life to watch it. And then I'm sure many of our listeners it'll be 18 minutes and 27 minutes as they keep watching it again to digest everything that's going on there. Finally, looking ahead, what future projects do you have lined up? I understand there is a animated VR film that you're working on.
That's true. So as soon as I was done with opera, because basically opera was completed almost a year ago, because the opera, we first premiered it last summer. So before premiere, usually a couple of months before we complete the film. So as soon as I was done with opera, I started the next project immediately, which is this VR project titled Namu. And it's a literally Korean tree, Namu. We decided to use the Namu title, just like Minari. Namu is a title. And it's a very personal piece. I don't think opera is a personal piece, even though it is a world portrayed through my own lens, my filter. But I did my best to create the world that can be understood and resonate with a lot of people, so that it's a study of the world. On the other hand, this Namu really is internal journey to myself. And then inspired by my father passing, I thought, what are we coming? Where are we coming from? Where do we go? What's the meaning of life? That question really led me to design this project with Namu. And reason why I used the medium VR is because of that too. This is it's very immersive spiritual journey, and then I wanted to give the audience more than just cinematic language. When it rains, you are underneath the rain. When there's a thunderstorm, you're in the middle of the thunderstorm. And Namu really gives you that experience. And then that is why I used VR. And yeah, that is just actually premiered this year, Sundance. and then as soon as opera campaign is over, I'm ready to dive into promoting Namu right away. So hopefully people can also take a look at that beautiful piece we created.
Well, Mr. Oh, it's been wonderful to chat with you today. We look forward to more of your wonderful works as well, and we will, of course, be crossing our fingers for April 25th for the Oscars. We've been speaking to Oscar-nominated director Erick Oh. Mr. Oh, thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor. Thank you so much.